serious though. It's some of the biggest names in the sport head-to-head, down in the Canary Islands at the Race of Champions and the climax of the Nations Cup.
The 2003 Michelin Race of Champions took place in Gran Canaria, once more promising winter sun during motorsport's off-season, together with thrilling racing between the very best of the world's motorsport heroes from 2 and 4 wheels. So let's have a look at the track. 2 cars side by side around a 2.6 kilometre racetrack that's made up of 35% asphalt and 65% gravel. Rocketing out of the starting blocks, the cars are soon airborne at speeds well over 100 miles an hour. Into the far corner and then over the crossover, so essentially the cars have changed lanes. Back onto the tarmac, going over the start-finish line once more, but the drivers have to be careful. If you touch the barriers, you immediately get a 10-second penalty. Again, massive amounts of air from the 330 horsepower World Rally cars. Soon they're back over the crossover, and now as the stagger begins to unravel itself, it's going to be even Stevens, and it's so close right to the line.
Well, last week we witnessed Spain absolutely trounced Sweden to move through to the final. Now, who's going on from the second semi to meet them? Well, it's either the USA or the All-Stars. We're about to find out.
Next up, All-Stars versus the USA. This is Travis Pastrana in the white rock buggy against Fonzi Nieto, 250cc Grand Prix motorcycle racing star here in Spain. He is an absolute god down here on the Iberian Peninsula. He cannot walk down the streets. He's very sideways, is Nieto, so sideways around the far hairpin. Pastrana keeps his toe in, but look at Nieto. He's way up the bank. It looks like Nieto has gone off, and indeed that he has. And Nieto giving the victory to Pastrana, who knows that he's won and cruises to the finish. Okay then. Another 206 race. This time we have got Casey Mears of America up against Gilles Panizzi. Will this be the last day he will drive a Peugeot World Rally car? Well, the answer to that question is an absolute categorical yes, because the French superstar has signed for Mitsubishi in the 2004 World Rally Championship. We're on board with Panizzi, but look at the concentration. These professionals are absolutely flat out. Panizzi takes the victory. Nieto once more in the rock buggy. We're on board with Nieto. Look how cool he is. Not an ounce of emotion on his face. He's up against Travis Pastrana once more. The little guy versus the big tall guy. Spain versus America. But motorcycle heroes, the pair of them. Pastrana has won all of his races. We're on board with the American. Look at the concentration. Eyes wide open. And Pastrana looking good, easily in control. Another victory for USA. All-Stars 2, USA 2. Now then, Cristiano D'Amato, the Toyota F1 star, up against Boris Said of the USA. This is the last and final round, All-Stars versus America, so the winner of this race will take his team through to the final. D'Amato going through the jump, D'Amato getting quite a bit of air with the Mitsubishi Evo 8 as they go into the far corner. D'Amato in control, easily in control. control, in fact, and he takes the all-star team through to the final ahead of America.
Oh, it was great. We had a lot of fun out there. I think we had a really good team. You know, just came up just short of making it to the final in the end, but you know, I won all my heats, so I felt like, you know, did a good job. And now tomorrow I get to run the Peugeot, so excited.
Servia of Spain up against D'Amato of the all-star team again.
He put definitely the pressure on me, but we'll see. I like this place, the car. It'll be a lot of fun.
We think he's been practicing since last year. Cristiano, have you been practicing rallying since last year?
But I've been riding my mountain bike a lot more, so just to get used on the dirt tracks a little bit more. It's a lot easier when you come back on the second year, knowing the circuit and knowing a little bit what to expect from the car. So this year's been a little bit better, but now I have my teammate on the final. Let's see what happens.
So then the final is going to be Spain against the all-star squad. So the first race of the Nations Cup final, the two motorcycle stars, Fonzi Nieto with Emilio Alfamora. Even though Nieto is Spanish, he's driving against his own fellow countryman, Alfamora. Alfamora easily in control of this one. Emilio Alfamora makes it Spain 1, all stars 0. Second race, we move from the rock buggies to the Mitsubishi Evo 8s. This is Oriol Servia against Cristiano D'Amato. Servia of Spain, D'Amato of the all-star team. Understeering a little through the first corner, but once onto the gravel, the Michelin tyres digging well into the dirt. On board with Servia. He's in trouble though, because it's going to be D'Amato that makes it 1-1 for Spain and all stars. With the Peugeot 206 World Rally cars, it's Flavio Alonso of Spain versus Gilles Panizzi of the all-star squad. Panizzi closest to the camera as he flicks the 330 horsepower machine round on the opposite lock. We're on board with Panizzi. Panizzi going for the jump and getting, again, well over 25 metres of air. Going into the far corner, Spaniard on the inside, Frenchman on the outside, the passenger giving the crowd the thumbs up as the other team members are looking on. And it's going to be the Frenchman, but driving for the all-star squad, who makes it Spain 1, all-stars 2. So Spain got a bit of catching up to do. All-stars just 1 ahead. Back with the buggies. It's going to be, again, Emilio Alfamora of Spain against Fonzi Nieto of the all-star team. The pair of them, 250cc riders in the 16-round World Championship on 2 wheels. But now, they've sort of got a halfway house. An 1100cc Blackbird motorcycle engine in the back of these 4-wheeled buggies. Alfamora again victorious. He makes it level. Spain 2, All-Star 2, and it's the first to 3 wins. It's going to be crucial, the next race. And the final race to decide the Nations Cup is going to be between the former Champ Car teammates over in America, Oriol Servia of Spain against Cristiano D'Amato of Brazil. D'Amato, of course, driving for the All-Star squad. Servia as cool as a cucumber. We're riding on board with him. He's got the inside line for the first part of this 2.6 kilometre racetrack here in Gran Canaria. There's D'Amato The little guy from Brazil keeping the concentration, barely a blink with his eyes. In 1999, Finland were the victors. In 2000, France were victorious. In 2001, Spain managed to clinch the title, and last year it was the USA who took the Nations Cup title. Who would it be this year? Could it be Spain once more, or could it be the All-Star squad? It was going to be De Mata against Oriol Servia. Coming into the final yards on the tarmac. Has De Mata got the advantage? He's closest to the camera. De Mata takes the Nations Cup title for the All-Star squad with Gilles Panizzi and Fonzi Nieto as teammates. But even Panizzi found teammate Nieto a bit crazy behind the wheel.
Yeah, it's very happy for the team, and for next year we will give a motorbike for here. And Christian De Mata is the champion on gravel.
We give Christian maybe a Formula 1 car.
Yeah, Formula 1 on gravel. It will be more spectacular.
Well done, well done.
The celebrations soon were underway for the 6 drivers, 3 from each team. Spain against the All-Stars, but it was All-Stars who won, giving us incredible racing all of the way around the Gran Canaria racetrack.
Incredible racing, Cristiano. The most amazing performance. He was the slowest of all the racing drivers last year when he came here for the first time. And today's the fastest. He hasn't lost once.
De Mata as happy as anybody to be on top of the podium. He'll be back next year, we hope. Even quicker, for sure.
So the home team takes the honours in the Nations Cup, but there's more yet to come from the Race of Champions as the individual drivers line up. And we'll be going to Rockingham in the UK for the final of the Uniroyal Team Challenge. That's after the break.
Day 2 of the 16th running of the Michelin Race of Champions was also complemented by a look back into the past of World Rally Cars. A Lancia 037 from the early 80s, together with a 1986 Group B short wheelbase Audi Quattro, 550 horsepower, stuff of heroes. There was also the Rock Racing Challenge. 3 drivers competing in equal Toyota Yaris cars. Matteo Bobby and Robert Biaggi, 2003 FIA GT champions, against Rob Carville, 2003 VW Racing champion from the UK. Biaggi beat Bobby and Carville. Bobby beat Carville, and then Biaggi and Bobby in the final. Biaggi, who came out the victor against his Ferrari FIA GT teammate.
Questo è un derby, io e Matteo abbiamo vinto il campionato del mondo insieme. Mi dispiace anche un po' essermi trovato contro di lui, ma eravamo qui per divertirci.
The Rock Junior Cup was for 4 drivers under the age of 30. Belgium's Francois Duval, Daniel Carlson of Sweden, Tux Zhao of Spain and Francisco Suarez of Spain were all competing against each other. Duval and Carlson qualified for the final run with the Mitsubishi Evo 8. And Duval eventually came out the victor for the Rock Junior title for the 3rd year in a row. So then, on to the big stuff. 8 drivers qualified for the final of the 2003 Michelin Race of Champions. The programme: Pastrana versus Gronholm, Panizzi, Travaglia, Duval, Alonso, Loeb and Carlson. We're on board with the first race. It's going to be Marcus Gronholm against Travis Pastrana. 3 races, for the two drivers. The first one to win 2 races, therefore goes through. No need for the third race. The first race taking place with the Mitsubishi, and then the next 2 with the Peugeot 206. We're on board with Travis Pastrana in the Mitsubishi Evo 8, and Pastrana looking a little wild and into the side of the track and rolling the car. Pastrana completely destroying a brand new Mitsubishi. Grönholm looking to see what happened in the mirror behind his car, and this is a replay. Pastrana, he's used to be doing wild things on 2 wheels, and now he's got a reputation for doing it on 4. Pastrana lucky to get away with that one, but the immense strength of the car showing that he was completely okay. Grönholm therefore the victor, and Pastrana making his way back to the finish, but immediately excluded.
Front end pushed a little bit. I came over faster than I had been, and I thought if I stepped on it I could get it to the inside, but it went way straight. It just kept going. But I didn't know. Now they're excluding me from the race. You're not allowed to roll. So good to know now.
Well, there it says in the rules, if you roll the car, you're out. Next up, Gilles Panizzi versus Renato Travaglia. This is the first race of 3. Frenchman on the outside, Travaglia on the inside with these Group N specification cars. And look at it, Panizzi, as always, eyes wide open, as big as swimming pools, as he's trying to find his way around this 2.6-kilometre racetrack. He looks to his left-hand side to see that he is the victor against the Italian. Next round, they change cars, they go over to the 206 Peugeots. Travaglia losing out a little off the start line there, and he knows it already, but he's got to keep cool. He's yanking the handbrake, getting the car sideways around these sinuous corners here in Gran Canaria. Travaglia used to this rally car, but of course not as much as Gilles Panizzi. He must have done tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of kilometres in a 206, but it's going to be close, it's going to be close. Who's the victor? The answer is the victory goes to Panizzi, just by a couple of hundreds. Panizzi through with Grönholm next time up. He says on paper he's better than me. Anyway, I think I'm the outsider, but the outsider is going to try and beat the leader. Now then, we've got Duval against Alonso. Duval of Belgium, the Ford Focus World Rally driver, against Alonso. Duval may be the quicker of the 2 drivers, but the local circuit knowledge of Alonso is surely going to play into his hands. Duval making a little bit of a mistake into the far left-hander. Evil corner, just tightens up on you at the last moment. Duval, the Belgian, as cool as ever, comes over the line to see that he was victorious, but only by 1/10 of a second. On board with Flavio Alonso for the second round between he and Francois Duval. Alonso a little slow off the line, looking for the handbrake into turn 1 on the slippery asphalt. We're now looking back into the eyes of Francois Duval. The car closest to the camera, a bit of a wide line around that corner. Was it the quick line? A little bit scrappy there from the Belgian as he goes through the right-hander into the final corner. This is going to be very close indeed. Duval against Alonso, but it was Duval who just gets the drop. Duval 2 wins against Alonso. Duval goes through. Now then, this is Sebastian Loeb preparing himself. He is going to battle against Daniel Carlson, the first heat here with the Mitsubishis. Understeer, understeer, understeer from Sebastian Loeb, but once the car gets onto the dirt, the gravel tyres really coming into their own at this particularly demanding racetrack here in Gran Canaria. Carlson already hit the bank out of our view, dislodging the rear bumper. Loeb therefore in control, and Loeb victorious. 1-0 to the Frenchman. Second heat, this time with the Peugeots. On board with Carlson, a little frustrated there, but it's pretty even Stevens actually. He's made a good start. The Swedish driver, look at load. This is so good at the Race of Champions. You never get a chance to compare rally car directly against another rally car. Normally, of course, on the World Rally Championship stage, it's only one car against the clock. But here you can really tell the difference. This is going to be close, but it's Loeb who just gets the advantage. The World Rally experience of the Frenchman probably just coming to the fore there. Loeb going through 2-0. He says even if we have come here for a holiday, we still put pressure on ourselves wanting to win as the races are really closely fought. We can't leave anything out. On to the first semi-final here in the 2003 Michelin Race of Champions, the world's very best rally drivers. We're on board with Marcus Gronholm, the picture of absolute concentration as the Flying Finn literally flies here in Gran Canaria. The pair of these drivers been teammates in the Peugeot World Rally team for the last 5 years, but Panizzi's moving on to Mitsubishi in the 2004 World Rally Championship. That's pretty even Stevens actually as they go over the crossover. This is going to be very close indeed between the pair of them. Panizzi now closest to the camera, finding his way through. Gronholm goes over the top. Has Gronholm got an advantage as they come into the last 400 or 500 meters? Panizzi using every single inch of the dirt, every single inch of the bank. Gronholm closest towards us. He even has time to look over his shoulder. Gronholm takes the first victory in the first heat. Another 2 races to go. Changing cars. Now we are in the Peugeot World Rally cars. Panizzi looking across to Gronholm. This is true Race of Champions stuff as they charge into the first corner. Panizzi scrabbling for grip, sliding it round, smoking the tyres, left foot braking, 330 horsepower, probably even more in fact, with these World Rally cars around the slippery surface, kicking up the dust, kicking up the dirt. Panizzi flying through the air, weightless for a moment as he's flicking it in, Scandinavian flick from Gronholm. He of course knows what he's doing, victor of the Thousand Lakes Rally, but Panizzi fresh off a victory in the Catalan round of the World Rally Championship only a few weeks ago. This is going to be very good indeed, this run from Panizzi. Panizzi looking to have an advantage closest to the camera. Panizzi's going to be a photo finish. Panizzi takes the victory. It's 1-1, and the last round is still to come. Gronholm loses in his own car. Keeping with the Peugeots, but swapping cars to keep it equal between the 2 World Rally drivers. On board with Gronholm, holding the thing on the handbrake and launching the thing. 4-wheel drive, traction control, off the start line, into the first corner. A picture of concentration for Marcus Gronholm. Understeer, understeer, understeer. Wait for the oversteer. There it goes, flicking the thing down onto the gravel. Now this is going to be the very last few kilometres of driving in a Peugeot World Rally car for Gilles Panizzi. Developed the Peugeot from a 2-wheel drive F2 car through to a full-blown 4-wheel drive World Rally car. Victor of 8 World Rally Championship events against Gronholm, 2000 and 2002 World Rally champion. Look at Panizzi, the little guy from the south of France, up against the tall guy from up in the cold Arctic country of Finland. They're battling against each other. It's 1-1 at the moment. The winner of this race is going to go through. That's the halfway point. Now they start the second lap. Panizi's got the advantage of them at the moment, about 0.2 of a second ahead of the Flying Finn. The Frenchman kicking up the dirt once more as he goes through the right-hander. Now going for the water splash, taking the air. Perfect poise from these World Rally Championship cars. The suspension and brake technology nowadays has really come along in leaps and bounds. The grip that is given from these Michelin tires, quite breathtaking when you're on board. But of course, these professionals know exactly what they're doing. Has Gronholm got a bit of advantage over the crossover? It's going to be a couple of tenths in it, but if there's any mistake made by the Flying Finn, he could lose out to Panizi. Gronholm's got to go the long way round, but Gronholm takes the victory, and Gronholm goes through to the final.
Well, Marcus Gronholm there, stamping the authority of a former World Rally Champion on the Race of Champions. Next week, we'll be back to see who he meets in the final. After the break, though, one-make racing at its best with Uniroyal Team Challenge action from Rockingham in the UK. Join us then. Welcome back, as now we make the trip to the UK's most exciting new circuit. That's Rockingham Speedway, as it plays host to the final round of the Uniroyal Team Challenge.
Welcome once again to the Rockingham Motor Speedway in Northamptonshire and to the final round in this year's Uniroyal Team Challenge Series. It's been a fantastic season at some of the UK's best circuits, plus of course the 25-hour race at Spa in Belgium. And for both the organisers and the competitors, the series has delivered all of the promise and excitement that it promised earlier in the season. Adrenaline this way, the sign said, and it couldn't be truer about this series, as our man trackside Frank Johns caught up with series director Graham Butterworth.
Well, we've had some fantastic racing this year. We've got blue skies again. Let's hope it stays like that, in which case we'll have had dry weather right the way through the year. And I think it's going to be a great race. We've got, if I was to take a Formula One style point situation, at this moment we've got 4 cars within 3 points for top of the table, shall we say. So very, very close racing out there. We've got a good grid, and I think it's going to be some very exciting racing.
Well, one team who made a cracking start to the season and now head the series are the Cuisine de France-backed Connell family.
Unofficially, we're leading by about 1 point, and there's only 2 between the top 3. So we didn't qualify particularly well, so I think it's going to be pretty tough, but we'll certainly have a crack at it.
Close behind the Connells is the 99 car of JPR Motorsport, and with only 1 point separating the teams, would it be their day?
We're behind. We need to go out, we need to win it to get in front, because the chaps that we're battling with are very fast. They're always up the front. So we've got a bit of a Raikkonen and Schumacher thing going. We have to win it. We have to have them finish less than 3rd or 4th. So it's going to be interesting, but we're here for the fun, really.
As with any endurance racing, fuel strategy can win or lose you a race. So the teams set about finalising when and how much fuel they'll take on during the designated 50-minute fuel windows. After that, the tension begins to build.
Nick, your thoughts? You're very close to maybe getting the best overall points in this series. Yeah. There's one race to go. How's it look?
No, I don't know. We were so slow yesterday. We're about 12th on the grid, aren't we? I don't know. The tyres weren't working, the car wasn't working. But last time when we won here, we just kept banging in the same lap times. I think that's what it's all about. Because this one's on qualifying time, so hopefully the guys at the front will get out of the way in a nice mess and we'll cruise through. Otherwise we're in trouble.
I mean, you were very smooth at the last Rockingham round. You got your pit stops right and everything, and as you know, you're there at the finish.
Yeah, but then at Brands we ran out of fuel.
Well, a happy man despite being on the 6th row of the grid. taking pole, 99 JPR Motorsport, 111 PL Motorsport right beside them. Then Honeywell SmartFit, Auto Express, SSJ Motorsport, Cuisine de France filling out the top 6. And behind them, another 11 teams who'll be putting the pressure on. And as we've seen from past races, anything can happen over 5 hours. And the tension building as the grid forms up. Each driver intent on making the best possible start, each concentrating on the countdown to the start line sequence. But in turn, each intent on getting safely away. With 5 hours ahead, no one wants to be eliminated on lap 1. It's red, green and go as the field rush down to turn 1. And on this lap only, they'll avoid Rockingham's infamous high-speed chicane. The 111 of PL Motorsport hang in to hold their pole position start, but already the 99 car of JPR Motorsport is under pressure from all sides, as the 53 car of Honeywell SmartFit and the number 2 car of Auto Express pile on the pressure. All survived the Dean hairpin, although 53 has been muscled out, and he's now fighting to hold a 5th place as the field pour into Yentwood. And then that will lead them uphill to the tricky right-hand bend called Chapman. Into the right-hander, everyone at full speed. From here it's a high-speed blast around the long left-hander called Racelands, where it's the number 2 car that fails to fend off a hard-charging Steve Harris in the 99 PR Motorsport car, who's intent on not letting any daylight get between him and the race leader 111. On board now with Cuisine de France team, who've already lost a few positions, but perhaps playing it safe in these opening laps. And on board with the leader here, a clear track, but for how long? As his mirrors are now full of the 99 car. On to the famous Rockingham banking. And Steve Harris has his man lined up for a classic drafting pass as both cars rush headlong towards the chicane. Laid on the brakes and Harris is through, and by the exit of Dean, the 111 car's lost further ground because of a damaged front spoiler. So endurance race or not, everybody's scrapping it out as if it was a sprint. Plenty of action to come from these early stages.
Steering very badly. Third gear is getting a bit dodgy, and the brakes ain't too good. But otherwise, it's fine, mate.
JPR Motorsport, one of 3, up front contesting the lead. The 111 car of PL Motorsport closely in touch as the team's headed for the 2-hour mark. And with just a handful of seconds separating those two from the 53 Honeywell SmartFit car, the next fuel stops would be critical. And these are the results after 2 hours of racing, very much between the top 3 at the moment. And the pit signal goes out for the second place 111 car of PL Motorsport as other runners start to filter in for fuel and a change of driver. Race leader, car 99 of JPR Motorsport, an early visit to the pit lane where lessons learned from earlier rounds are clearly being put into practice as the team make a super fast changeover to driver Paul Rose. The 8th place 107 car of JPR Motorsport 3 is in next. As the Auto Express team gets underway, that's soon to be followed by 107, the team obviously learning from their fellow teammates. Off and running, meanwhile the second place 111 car is in for an extended period as the team take the opportunity to replace the damaged front section that's been causing a lap-on-lap loss of valuable seconds. And with the new bodywork, they're hoping to start to gain on the leader again. But there do appear to be other problems with the car.
How's it going? It's going all right. I'm afraid I've been off again and knocked another splitter off, which I did in the last session as well, which is a bit of bad luck. I got pushed out going through the chicane and I knocked it off. And I just ran wide. No, me and Jeff were trying to slipstream each other to catch up with the JPR car. So we've dropped back a little bit, but I think we've still got a chance if we have a bit of luck, course car or something. We're not that far behind.
Lance has got to make up some time now, yeah?
Yeah, he should do. The car seems all right, but I think we've got a bent disc. Just jump hard onto the steering wheel when you're braking. Of course, with this endurance racing, you know, you can't swap them, so you've just got to make do. Yeah, is what they're sending me out next time? Because I have a job to keep my wheels on the track.
Well, I hope they help you.
Yeah, they should do, yeah. I'm about to see where I'm going now.
Mechanics await the arrival of those new boys in car 108, who are now in the top 6.
Chris, your first ever drive, just finished a stint, how's it going?
Yeah, it's going good, a little bit different to what I'm normally used to on the speed level. A bit of a step down in speed, but a little bit more work to do inside the cab of the car, you know.
So do you know whereabouts you're lying in the race?
I think we're 6th, but I think we've taken about 10 seconds out of the 5th place. So I've just been told, I don't know, I've not had a look yet.
And while the 108 car is safely away for its next stint, mechanics can briefly relax, whilst drivers exchange stories about daring manoeuvres and what might have been, as others simply chill out and catch up with the paperwork. But while there might be a breather in the pit lane, no such thing out on the track for the next few hours. The next 2 hours of racing had remained close, but the challenges of both 111 PL Motorsport and the 53 car of Honeywell SmartFit teams were now diminishing against the relentless pace of the race leader. And this is how they stood after 4 hours. JPR Motorsport 1 out front, Honeywell SmartFit dropping back, and PL Motorsport now a lap adrift, with the rest in hot pursuit. And it's the race leader who pits early to take on just enough fuel to reach the finish and effect a final driver change. Over to team boss Paul Rose.
Get in, Paul.
Greg, beaming away there. It's got to be great to be out front, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. We've really put in a good effort this time. Our pit stops are where we've been making up the time. We've been level pegging with 53, but in the pits we're making up 10, 15 seconds every time, and that's what's given us the advantage. So, no, we're chuffed.
So, comfortable lead now, fairly easy, do you think, for Paul for this last stint?
A lead's never comfortable. It's not over till the fat lady sings. We've been in this position before, Donington last year, this year actually. A long way in front, safety car, closes it all up. So it's still all to play for.
Well, car 53's final challenge doesn't get off to the quickest of starts. The team lose more valuable seconds having to push start the car. However, an interesting race strategy might pay off.
We're into the final throws of 5 hours. How's it going?
Well, it's going very well. I mean, we're second at the moment. You just got to keep the pressure on the lead car. I've just done a double stint. Jeff's actually lapping quicker than I am this weekend. and we decided that if for any reason there was a safety car incident in the last session and the field closed back up, Jeff could probably pinch a win. So I did a double stint there, seemed to maintain the gap. We're into the final 50 minutes. You know what this is like, anything can happen.
Third place car 111 finally picked, showing yet more damage to the front end. And with no time left to fix the problem, there appears to be little chance of them making a serious challenge on the leaders. And another car showing signs of some serious contact is the 106 mount of Team Cuisine de France.
Word, Richard. Hi, Richard.
Hello.
Not been such a good day for you, is it, so far?
All day, no, yeah. It's really terrible. I don't know what's wrong with the car yet. All we know is there is something wrong. We're going about 3 or 4 seconds slower than we are last time we came here. So,
no idea what the problem is. It looks like something to do with handling, isn't it?
Something to do with the handling. I think it may be the front dampers. But it's just vibrating on all the corners and it's a bit unpredictable. And oh, it's just been terrible. I'm glad that was my last stint, actually.
So you're just going for the fun of it now, eh?
Yes, that's it. I mean, I'm just looking for a bit of fun. If I can get myself into a battle I can keep with, that would be good. Get the car to the end and rebuild for the winter, I think.
I mean, it's been a season of highs and lows, isn't it, for the team?
Yeah, the first 3 races were brilliant, and Spa was an excellent trip. We had the accident there, but the past 2 races we struggled. I think we had the new car to start with, no reliability problems, and we're having a few problems sneaking in now.
But you still enjoy yourself here?
I still enjoy it, yeah.
With the 106 car away, next in is the number 2 car of Auto Express, driven by a combination of magazine readers and staff who've made a fine effort to hold a 9th position. And whilst car 4 is push started, we caught up with its guest driver.
Very hot, very sweaty. Chris, how's it going, your first race?
I've enjoyed it. That last session was a comfortable feeling, and I really did begin to enjoy it. Rather than feeling rather panicked, I was beginning to enjoy that. That was lovely.
How your teammates been? Have they been putting in enough effort, or is it you who's been starring?
By no means have I been starring. The other 2 guys have been much quicker than me, and they're not novices. But they've been very forgiving of me, thankfully. I don't think we're anywhere up the top of the table. I think we're fairly low down in the order, but hey, we're having fun. That's what matters.
Now, of course, the key question is, what are the staff going to say on Monday morning?
I didn't destroy any of the circuit furniture, and I haven't broken anything on the car, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a moral victory for me.
Okay, well done. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And so we were coming down to the final stages of the race, the final stages of the season. And with only 5 minutes of the race remaining, the 99 car was holding a comfortable 1-minute lead over the 53 car and almost a lap on the 111 car. An easy win was on the cards. But as if to a script, the yellow flag came out and the safety car was deployed following the breakdown of the number 2 Auto Express car. Unbelievably, all that hard driving by the 99 team was cancelled out as the field bunched up for the few final minutes of racing. And at the restart, the chase was on. Only 12 seconds separated car 99. The question was, could Paul Rose hold off the hard-charging 53 car with a very determined Jeff Fossett at the wheel? With 1.5 minutes to go, Jeff's giving it his all as he battles past back markers in an effort to catch the leader, but the time was to run out as the 99 car thundered along Rockingham's famous banking to take a truly memorable win, and by only 8 seconds after some 5 hours of flat-out racing. And so the results confirm JPR Motorsport leaders from flag to flag almost, Honeywell SmartFit in second, PR Motorsport having to be content with third, and these the top 6 as the celebrations began. But in the end, it was to be the final congratulations to the winners in what was one of the closest fought races in this exciting series. And that also meant in the overall championship, 99 JPR Motorsport taking the overall honours. But team boss Paul Rose not keeping his hands on the trophy for long. And their victory bringing an end to a great year's racing.
What are your feelings about this year?
Yeah, you're right, it's gone so quickly, but it's been a fantastic year for us. I think it's been a difficult year for motorsport in general, We started the first race with just 12 cars and finished today with 17 cars. That's a really great achievement, and 48 drivers taking place in the series, which is probably more than anybody else has in UK motorsport.
Looking to next year.
We've got a commitment now to continue the series, an agreement for a further 3 years. And again, there's not many people in motorsport that know their future is guaranteed for that long. We also have appointed Alan Prost as an ambassador for the Uniroyal brand this year, and he'll be giving his support to the series as well.
So lots to look forward to in the future, but that's it from this year's Uniroyal Team Challenge. We hope you've enjoyed the action.